I call to order the Plan Commission meeting of March 27, 2018. We'll proceed with roll call.
Mr. Foster?
Here.
Mr. Holman? Mrs. Zaris?
Here.
Mr. Schumacher?
Here.
Mr. Pearson? Mr. Coots?
Here.
And Mr. Magnuson previously informed staff that he would be on.
All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, Plan Commissioners, it's been a while, so belated Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and also Happy Easter. Or we have item number 3 next, correction and/or approval of the minutes of November 28, 2017. Any comments on the minutes?
No, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of November 28, 2017 as written.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of November 28th. Any discussion? In that case, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, the minutes are passed. Next, item number 4. The public may address the Commission at this time regarding items on the agenda unless the item is the subject of a public hearing. If your comments pertain to a public hearing, please hold your comments until the hearing. We do have one public hearing this evening, item number 6, request by Lakeside Lutheran High School to remove institutional overlay zoning from a parcel it wishes to detach from its property to create a single-family lot fronting Ferry Drive, which would retain single-family residential R14 zoning. The public may comment at this time on items that are not on the agenda if you have registered with the city clerk before the meeting. The state's open meeting law discourages action by the Commission on items not listed on the agenda. Please keep your comments limited to 3 minutes. State your name and address when starting your comments, and also fill out the sign-in sheet at the podium. Are there any public comments at this time? With that, then I would ask for a motion to move item number 5, discussion on accessory building zoning, to after item number 7, so we can proceed with the public hearing.
I'll make that motion to move number 5 after number 7.
Second the motion.
Okay. Any discussion on it? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. In that case, we proceed with item number 6, public hearing, zoning amendment request, Lakeside Lutheran, 231 Woodland Beach Road, for the purpose of changing the zoning of a lot to be split off of parcel 246071314444000 from single-family residential public and institutional overlay district to single-family residential district. The public hearing, before we start the public to hear testimony, I would like to ask our consulting planner for an overview of the case.
Oh, I was going to make it.
Sorry about that. Lakeside Lutheran is under a separate action that goes through a staff review, proposing to create a new single-family lot, really at the corner of Milton and Ferry Drive. You can see that on the screen in the right-hand image. That item doesn't come before the Plan Commission, but obviously is the impetus for the rezoning. They will be creating the lot to sell, and presumably someone will build a new single-family home on it. I think there were a couple just small technical things with the certified survey map before it was getting signed. But in order to facilitate that, the entire property that Lakeside Lutheran owns is zoned single-family, which allows for schools and such, but it also has an overlay district, the Institution of Public Service overlay, and it is kind of standard practice to remove that overlay district. It allows certain land use activities that really wouldn't be appropriate for just a small single-family property. But it doesn't mean that if it wasn't zoned that way, someone couldn't come in and ask to do certain things by right, put up a cell tower or something, just things that just aren't appropriate there. The findings, do you want me to run through the findings of fact, or did you want to wait until the next agenda item?
I think go ahead and present your
Okay.
findings as well.
So as you know, we have a series of findings that need to be evaluated in respect to any rezoning request that comes in, really relating to how the proposed action would impact neighboring properties and such. So the first finding is that the official map amendment furthers the purposes of the zoning code. Removing the public institutional overlay district is in keeping with the intended use of this property, single-family residential. I think that's pretty straightforward. The public institutional overlay district was never really intended for small properties. Doesn't mean that doesn't happen periodically. Could be something utility related, but in this case, it just wouldn't be appropriate, and it does further the goal to have consistent land uses, et cetera, in a residential area. Does the proposed amendment maintain the consistency of land uses, land use intensities? Yes, it will be a single-family home. The Lakeside Lutheran does own, you can see in the image, a single-family home there that they use for some employees of their school system. That is certainly allowed within the public institutional overlay. Obviously, next door to the east will be another existing single-family home, so this will fit right in. So very consistent with the development of the area. The trend of development in the area since that has taken place, there really hasn't been a trend, if you will. It has been the athletic facilities for Lakeside Lutheran, and of course the adjacent land uses were long ago built as single-family homes. So I guess if there's a trend, it would be the continued single-family use of the area, and then the designation of the official zoning map should be brought in conformity with the comprehensive plan. In truth, when the comprehensive plan and the future land use map were put together many years ago, never anticipated that Lakeside Lutheran would be divesting itself of any property. That's not a problem in and of itself. So the comprehensive plan shows the entire property for institutional and civic land uses. So we do need to change the comprehensive plan for this small piece of land to be single family. So a small little quirk, but it will be brought forward to you next month with some other requested land use amendments on some properties in the city. So we will have them all as at one meeting, so you can look at them simultaneously. Staff's recommendation is to approve the rezoning petition because it does comply with the findings of fact that have been listed there, and that the rezoning should have a couple of conditions. One, that the amendment to the future land use map occurs from community institutional to single family, and approval of the certified survey map itself happens, which is a city manager issue.
And thank you, Mr. Wolf. We are in public hearing, and if anyone would like to provide testimony concerning this request, then please approach the lectern, sign in your name and address, and then also state your name and address for the city clerk. Would anyone like to make comments at this time? Is there anyone who would like to provide testimony on this proposed rezoning? All right, hearing none, then I'm closing the public hearing, and we move on to item number 7, which is discussion recommendation on the zoning amendment request, Lakeside Lutheran, 231 Woodland Beach Road, for the purpose of changing the zoning of a parcel to be split off of its property, which has a parcel number of 2460713144400 from single-family residential public and institutional overlay district to single-family residential district R14. The Plan Commission motion in front of us is motion 1831, recommendation to City Council for a zoning amendment, Lakeside Lutheran High School. And what this motion 1831 does is that it sets forth the city authority for land use and zoning under state statutes, and specifies that the city does have certain requirements for amending zoning, sets forth the petitioner request for amendment to the zoning map for the parcel to be split off, sets forth a review by city staff, tonight's public hearing and Plan Commission review. The motion gives Plan Commission recommendation to the City Council to amend the zoning map for this property to be split off, and again authorized based on the conditions being met as noted in the planner's memo. So that is the Plan Commission motion. And before opening it up for discussion, what I would like to do is I would ask for a motion to amend the motion to specify that this, as written, this would apply to the entire property, and that's not the request. But just to amend it so that under recommendation to City Council for a zoning amendment, it would read Lakeside Lutheran High School regarding part of parcel 2460713144400.
Okay. I will make that a motion to amend motion 18-3-1 to say the portion.
Yeah.
How did you word that?
Yeah, it would, what I was recommending is that underneath the main heading, it would read Lakeside Lutheran High School regarding part of parcel and the number.
Yeah. What she said. That's the motion I'd like to make.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
It's been moved and seconded to amend this motion to show it as part of the parcel. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, then we'll take a roll call vote on the motion to amend motion 1831.
Ms. Lazaris?
Aye.
Mr. Schumacher?
Aye.
Mr. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Coots?
Aye.
Mr. Foster?
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
For this proposed rezoning, are there any comments, questions by Plan Commission staff? All right, hearing none, then I would ask for a motion on the revised motion 1831.
Make a motion to approve the Plan Commission motion. The amendment.
As amended.
As amended, thank you.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the revised motion 1831. Any further discussion? Okay. All right, hearing none, then I would call for roll call vote on that motion.
Mr. Schumacher?
Aye.
Mr. Pearson?
Aye.
Mr. Coots?
Aye.
Mr. Foster?
Aye.
Mrs. Harris?
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
All right, very well. All right, now we return to item number 5, and this is a discussion on accessory building zoning that Mr. Holman previously had brought up. He is absent this evening, and so we will not do anything further at this time. So that would then bring us to item number 8, recommendations for future agendas. Is there anything under future agendas?
We'll have a preliminary plat for a 10-lot subdivision along Stonehenge and Crestview in Brookstone, brought by Loose Homes.
Okay.
The corresponding rezoning of some of
Right.
those lands. And then, as I mentioned, the request for a series of properties to change the land use.
All right,
Right.
very well, very well.
Obviously, the preliminary plat will be at the next Public Works Board for recommendation on utilities. There's not really a lot, most of it's already there. Will be a new stormwater detention basin, so there'll be some discussion at Public Works Board, then it'll hit the Plan Commission. They would like to push it through generally as quick as possible. This will be the preliminary plat, then we'll have to come back with the final plat. And then we'll have to move forward. Then they hope to be able to do construction.
All right, sounds good. All right. Anything further on future agendas? All right, hearing none, then we go on to the last item, number 9, adjournment. Is there a move to adjourn? A motion?
I apologize to the council for being late. I've been late all day. So
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No one opposed? We're adjourned.